shit, you know. So I had, it was like secondary experience, but I found a lot of shit just was like, wow, I can do this, man.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, sounds like you'll be doing all right. But man, that fucking UFC this week was crazy, wasn't it?
I saw the prelim. I saw the
Mother's Day stuff.
I saw the prelim.
The prelims were actually better than that card.
The co-main event from the prelims, they let that fight go on entirely too long.
The dude with the bad leg?
Yes.
Yeah.
The second he hit the ground and got 2 punches in, they should have called that fight.
But he kept coming back.
No, not that one. It was the one before that one.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the dude hit the ground and the guy just...
Yeah.
Oh, and Joe Rogan was
knockout,
like, stop the fight at this point.
Yeah, the knockout. Yeah, he didn't have to finish it.
And what's his name? The final fight, the main event, that was just a dirty shot. The dude's arm's down on the ground. You're going to knee him.
Yeah.
Then you're going to hit him 2 more times.
Well, it should have been a disqualification.
Well, you know why they didn't DQ him, don't you? If that other fighter would have said he's ready to go, they would have DQ'd him.
Yeah.
So what they're going to do is they're going to take that to the state, and it should be overturned to a DQ.
Yeah, they might just rematch him. But
Indie wrestling, I have a lot of friends in that.
like,
So,
Yeah, that's a big thing that
so
we
if
do.
you guys want, Chris Payne.
Yeah, we know Payne.
I'm going down to
Yeah.
Lancaster tonight to shoot promos.
Yeah, I'm
for Pruitt.
Yeah, and Pruitt. Yeah,
Yeah,
I was in their school.
Oh, kick ass.
I didn't stay very long because I had other things, and
But I'm
always there.
yeah, I'm literally going down there right after this to fucking shoot some promos for their shit on Friday.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he texted me at like noon today, like, dude, can you come down? That's cool. Yeah, we had after
We had Payne in here
after
3-4 times.
Payne did SmackDown.
Yep.
We did an interview with him. Yes, have you been to some of the shows?
Yeah.
I thought I've seen
I've
you.
done one of the shows.
Yeah, I swear to God, I was like, you look totally familiar.
All right, we got.
That's it, dude. Hell yeah. I mean, anytime you want to jump in, sit on it, and sit on this show.
Yeah, because they make you do 6-hour shadowing now.
Yeah.
Before you get your
Our
own
whole
show.
second hour is basically indie wrestling, so we talk all about PWA.
Well, and I found out who Eddie Gonzalez's wife is.
Yeah.
Heather Owens' husband.
Really? I didn't know that.
So that's going to be a good because we got him on Friday.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
The winner of the
Hardcore
Celtics
Heather
Wizards
Owens.
series in the Eastern
Yeah,
Conference.
but a lot of mine stuff, like with my daughter and stuff, I have one that's called Can't Stop Laughing, Why Are You Laughing, and blah, blah, blah. Because she likes to go blah, blah, blah. And she just.
Oh, from Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah, and it's just nonstop. And when I get views, I actually went live on Facebook for introducing people to Murder Ball as a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I played murder ball when I wrestled in
And
high
it
school.
was just me and one of my buddies, and I went live, and I am at how many views did I get? I average like 150, 300 to 500 views.
That's pretty sweet. You can't beat that, man.
So
I mean, if you've already got people checking out your shit, then it'll be much, much easier for, all the projects you've got here. Do you have like a blog or like a
I
link?
want to start a podcast, but I don't know how.
I mean,
Because
there's a lot of ways. There's really no one right way to tell you, But they will have you do a blog on LinkedIn and a Tumblr.
And a podcast. They have you do a couple of like minute or twos just to kind of.
Well, we did, we did.
330 views on that one. 200 on that one. So I mean,
We're about 4 minutes late, but we'll fill time.
Images of strange and powerful forces.
have fun.
One of all the forces in the universe, the two most powerful, heal and fade. Prepare to explode.
Welcome everybody to a new episode of Heel and Face. I came in a little early. The microphone wasn't where it should have been. But I am the mayor of the Squared Circle, along Aaron Hurt. We got a huge show, a lot of good stuff happening in Ring of Honor.
Yes, huge pay-per-view over the weekend. Plus, they had some TV tapings. We don't want to spoil the results of that, but we will talk about.
But we do want to talk about what happened Friday night.
Yes, absolutely. And yes, in our second hour, we will talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan. We'll talk about Progress Wrestling because they had a big show.
Before we get into news, did you see the new trailer for Glow today?
I did. I saw a lot of saw it circulated on a lot of different.
I think I might have circulated it on the show.
I think so, but it's very, it looks very interesting, and there are a lot of legitimate wrestling people involved in this.
I know. Didn't you say Chavo Guerrero's involved?
Chavo was involved as a consultant. Well, his uncle Mondo was the original trainer for the Glow.
Is that the guy that's got the glasses they're showing in the...
I'm not sure. I can't say that I know for sure who all the different people are supposed to be.
But before we get into it, I'm going to throw it over to you, News. Real quick, if you want to tune in, download the TuneIn app, search Score on Air. Take us with you. A little different this time. If you want to watch us, go to YouTube, search Heel and Face 2016, or go to our show page, facebook.com/Heel and Face 2016. The link's up. So you can take us with you however you want to do it.
Yes, despite the fact that there are some technical difficulties with the Ohio Media School YouTube stream, we are determined to make sure that you get access to it that way, because we know a lot of people, that's their preferred method of...
and maybe they might get a little back behind the scenes kind of footage.
You never know.
We might just have to... well...
As long as you don't, if you mute your microphones during the break, then maybe we'll be okay.
Right.
But
we'll figure it out as we go. Just bear with us.
Yes, but we want to get into the news from WWE as we go into Monday Night Raw tonight, as we have the big Backlash pay-per-view this weekend, which is, of course, SmackDown. But we'll bring you a big preview of Backlash on our Friday show. But we want to talk about some news we have about Brock Lesnar and his upcoming schedule. WWE has officially announced the following appearance dates for the Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. He will not defend his title until the Great Balls of Fire event on July 9th in Dallas, Texas.
No matter how many times I hear it, it's still horrible.
Yeah. He is expected to appear for at the Raw that week, and then following that, on the way to that, yes. So we have June the 12th in Lafayette, Louisiana, June the 26th in Los Angeles, July the 3rd in Phoenix, and July the 10th in Houston. So that majority of the month leading up to that pay-per-view, Raw will feature Brock Lesnar, so that's very good news. We have a lot to talk about in our Raw segment, because there's news, we don't have it confirmed yet. There's news that Braun Strowman's injury may require him to miss up to 6 months instead of the originally anticipated 8 weeks.
I saw something today about him in surgery.
Yes, it's very likely that tonight on Monday Night Raw we will see what their plans are for who will challenge Brock, through as we build up to SummerSlam, because it had been expected that Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar were going to be joined at the hip for the next few months in WWE, but as we said, we'll have to wait till Monday Night Raw tonight to find out more about that. But we have news on the UK Championship. The announcement was made that the show will debut this Thursday night at 8 p.m. and then will re-air on Friday at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. So it will be scheduled so that it appears in prime time for the UK audience. But I believe that the first show will be a 90-minute special. It's possible that that could change, but those were the original plans as announced. And of course, Jim Ross and Nigel McGuinness will be calling the action. And they, this will play into the big NXT TakeOver card that we have this weekend. So not only do we have to, on Friday, do we have to talk about TakeOver Chicago, we got to talk about Backlash too.
And did you see for TakeOver, Jim Ross will be calling the title match?
Oh, that's fascinating. I'm thrilled to hear that, because that's the first of me hearing that. But I can't wait for this UK thing. It's just another show that we're going to have to cover here on the broadcast.
And we'll make time for it.
Yeah.
Because Lucha's coming back in less than 15 days. 16.
Yeah, Lucha Underground's coming back too. So, I mean, it's definitely no rest for the weary when it comes to wrestling watching. But we have some lineups for the UK NXT tour, since we were talking about NXT. Coming up the first week of June the 6th and June the 8th. On the 6th, they'll be in Manchester, and the 8th, they'll be in Brighton. But we are going to see Trent Seven versus Tyson T-Bone, Ruby Riott and Aaliyah versus Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, Drew McIntyre, Killian Dane. Let's just go through the names since these talents will be appearing on both shows. DIY, Authors of Pain, most likely for the tag titles. Asuka set to face Ember Moon for the women's championship. Aleister Black and Andrade Almas, Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode. Cassius Ohno will also have a shot at the championship during that tour. So if you are going to be in the UK for those events, it looks like you've got quite the stellar lineup. And we have a little bit more news about one Aleister Black. He is actually scheduled for this week's WWE TV tapings. He toured with the Raw brand in Europe and also wrestled on Main Event. So perhaps there is a plan to move him up to the main roster, which I see no problem with.
I don't either.
Because the man is more than ready. He's a very captivating presence. He's got quite a bit of experience, so I'd love to see it. And then Cedric Alexander is scheduled to be back on TV this week following an injury. So that is the latest on WWE as we go into Monday Night Raws. They're back in the States tonight for Raw, but we're going to send it to a break. So please stick around for more of Heel and Face, your source for pro wrestling news, analysis, and opinions right here, part of Score On Air and the Be On Air Network.
We're out.
Hey, Brick, how's it going?
Not much good.
All right, I'm gonna remember we are running still live mic on YouTube.
Okay,
I mean, it's not like the school can say anything because I'm running it on our show feed.
well, that's true, but
It actually says James Hand on it. So, I just saw Jim Ross. He's going to call the UK title match.
good stuff.
Probably to get him and Nigel some more chemistry before they start it up.
Well, that'll actually be after I would assume they've already taped this stuff since it's going to be airing on Thursday.
You know. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to get into our Monday Night Raw preview, or what we know. Right now, there's one thing we know, which is the Intercontinental titles on the line tonight.
Okay, that's very, very interesting.
Because they announced that last week, Miz and
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. So,
Well, I think really the thing on everybody's mind, as we said in the news segment, that Braun Strowman's injury will most likely force WWE to drastically change their plans for the next few weeks and months. I mean, naturally, it's possible Braun could come back sooner than what they're saying, but I mean, if he's out 6 months, that's Survivor Series. So they've got to have somebody built up, and the question is, who is it going to be? There seems to be about 3 obvious choices.
Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Roman Reigns, of course.
Yeah. Well, that would be 4.
Bray Wyatt, possibly.
You're adding on. But those are they're all equally likely. I'm thinking Joe, Rollins, and Balor. It's going to be one of those 3 guys.
Make it a triple threat match at the next pay-per-view Extreme Rules. Winner goes against Brock at Great Balls.
I got an idea. Brick, you like to do fantasy booking and what if scenarios. I got one for you. With all of the talk about WWE needing to pull a big angle out, the conclusion that a lot of fans have come to is that the only ace they have up their sleeve is a Shield reunion. Now, adding that with Jane's idea of a multi-person match, would you like to see Rollins, Ambrose, Reigns, and Lesnar mix it up?
I know that in the past they were supposed to be doing a Shield triple threat earlier, and this was before they suspended Pinions for doing what he was doing.
Absolutely.
But I really think that is still open. People would definitely still love to see a triple threat, and by adding Brock Lesnar in there would definitely make it difficult for them to do their thing, and actually make the match probably even a little bit even more better, because then you would have a man that does a lot of manhandling, throwing people around, doing all of that. So I would give that a try to see what that goes off. But at the same time, I would think twice about it, because you don't want to do that feud and then start it off, but then later on down as the feud goes on, you're like, okay, and the storyline going over, and now you want to change some stuff around, but you can't because it's too late.
I see your point. I mean, honestly, Brick, I was just throwing that out there as a hypothetical. Quite frankly, you certainly had a very thoughtful response to that. But I would do more like what you said. I would do the Shield triple threat and have the winner of that wrestle Brock. But that is all, as we said, hypothetical fantasy booking.
Armchair quarterbacking.
Yes, what would be the craziest thing that they could do? But James, what does the 5-star preview tell us?
What's next for Roman after taking out Braun? It says Raw General Manager Kurt Angle will address the situation tonight on Raw. The whole Roman and Braun thing.
Yeah.
So we'll probably find out Roman will have a match at Extreme Rules against somebody. I think they're going to end up pushing this Roman and Brock thing a little bit earlier than they need to.
Do you really think that Vince will give up on his plans of holding it out until next year's WrestleMania?
Or you could go completely different and have them do their match at Great Balls of Fire. I still hate saying that name. Do the match at Great Balls of Fire, but have it be a no contest. No one wins. The title wouldn't change hands. And then you can still build the Brock and Roman thing till Mania, and you didn't hurt either one of them at this point.
Well, as we said, it's all speculation from our perspective. We need to talk about all the other things. What about the tag team situation? Now that we've seen Cesaro and Sheamus run through all the other contenders, what do we do until Extreme Rules to keep them hot?
Jeff Hardy is going against Sheamus tonight.
Well,
in a one-on-one match.
I was going to say,
he might want some money for that too still.
There is that. I mean, they did this before. We mentioned it that they can go back to this again, since now Sheamus and Cesaro clear heels. When the last time they did the singles matches, like when Raw was in Columbus, it was Hardy and Cesaro. It was a great match, but it was 2 baby faces. And
right, at the end of the match, now you get an opportunity for Sheamus and Cesaro to take out their frustration on the Hardys.
Yeah, and this could very well not even be a match. It's just they ring the bell and, the heels jump, Jeff, they make some deal where Matt can't be at ringside or whatever,
Matt was taken out backstage on the way to the arena or something.
Very, anything. So
typical WWE kind of mindset that we've seen when it comes to like when Jericho was taken out, and that's how they kind of incorporated Finn Balor into it.
Yeah, and they never ever went back and explained who, what, when, where, why. For that, it was just he got dropped and that was it.
Yeah. To keep the Hardy Boys really, because ever since Mania they've been as a tag team champions now, and they're not really what you call relevant anymore. But to keep them there, what they need to start doing is these uppercomers tag teams need to really bring in and really need to draw Hardy Boys out of what they are. Even though they are WWE legendary, excuse me. But in the past, you had Ed and Christian pull out that fire of the Hardy Boys, and I know they still got that left in them to continue go on and make the tag team champions be more than just what it is.
Well, there's a problem in just that how much that Vince McMahon considers tag team wrestling to be an afterthought. How more often than not, these teams are two singles guys that are thrown together. I mean, I think that's what makes the Hardy Boys so unique. Is that they're an actual team. They are brothers. It's same with the Usos on the SmackDown side of things. But yeah, we've I'm looking forward to the pay-per-view match, but I don't know if I'm looking forward to the weeks in between.
The leading up to it.
Yeah.
Then the only other thing we know is it's over when Joe says it's over. Does Seth Rollins retaliate tonight after what ended with?
Well, I think he has to. I think that the smart thing to do would be to combine all of these things into one big pot. Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe, Roman Reigns. Those seem all relative to me. Who's the man? Who's going to be in the main event spot?
If they do the Seth Rollins and Samoa Joe at Extreme Rules, could that be the pay-per-view where Triple H makes his appearance known?
It could be.
Because it is about time for that to happen.
Do you think we'll see Triple H before we see Stephanie again?
No, I think we see Stephanie, or if not, together at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine without either one of them on TV. I think that Kurt Angle needs, a little bit more time to establish his presence before they try going back to Stephanie or doing some kind of
power struggle or something. Because we know it's coming. They're going to do a power struggle between Stephanie and the GM because that's just how they build her character.
Yeah, because the sun rose in the east today. Yes, Stephanie McMahon will try to, try to get over on everybody else on the show.
Then we didn't even bring up the women's division.
No, I was about to go to that. Let's ask Brick what he thinks. We've got Nia Jax as Alexa Bliss's protector. So where who's the next challenger? Is it Sasha? Is it Bayley? Is Nia Jax the next challenger?
For the championship, Nia, she wanted to be, the females champion. Just like of last week on Monday when that one girl's name, the current champion, when she
Alexa,
when she said that Nia was the best wrestler.
Yeah.
And so we already know you already going to have something there between them. They're not going to be no friendship for a long time. This is just a temporary thing until Nia sees her opportunity and takes it.
Well, do you think that the fans can get behind her as a babyface? Because it's been kind of hard for her to really get a lot of heat as a heel. And if this plays out the way that you said, then that would clearly make her the babyface over Alexa. And I think that I don't know if Nia has enough support to be the strongest babyface. Not that on paper that angle sounds perfectly fine, but you can never predict how these crowds are going to react. So, James, with just a little bit of time here left in the segment, do we have any more thoughts on Raw as we preview?
I just hope it's a better show than last week.
I think that it's bound to be. I just think coming off of that show and the ratings were, record-setting lows. Regardless of what it was going up against, whether it was hockey playoffs, basketball playoffs, whatever, those ratings were terrible, and they've got to do something. That's why everybody's saying, well, maybe the Shield will come back. Maybe they'll do this, maybe they'll do that, because they're going to do something to get people to care.
What they need to do is restart Monday Night Raw all over again with better storylines, better feuds, having wrestlers, let them be, let them do them. Because I really think once Vince McMahon breaks that tie off and let the wrestlers do them, you will get a whole much better product with Monday Night Raw itself. And do that same thing for SmackDown.
I think that you make a very good point that a lot of people would agree with, is that Raw, in a word, is overproduced. And the more they let these guys simply be themselves, then I would say the more likely it is fans will be energized by it. But that is it for this segment. So we are going to come back and discuss SmackDown as they head into Backlash this weekend. So please join us for more Heel and Face at scoreonair.com, part of the Be On Air network.
We're out. I think I'm trying to multitask too much. I'm trying to focus on a little bit of everything.
They definitely need to bring some creativity to the females.
and I like in my wrestling shows. It's silly. It's
Well,
juvenile, but
every brand had the one comedy guy. Like at one point, WCW had Jericho.
well,
When
Jericho.
he was calling out Goldberg.
Yeah, Jericho was hilarious, but he also backed it up in the ring.
That's true.
That's the difference between I mean, that's what I'm saying about why Breezango have a lot of room to grow because they can work and they've found a way to work well as a tag team. So I think it's good stuff.
I wonder how far will Fashion Police will go with this game.
Well,
I let him win the title at Backlash.
I'm sure that if it gets really over, then maybe. I mean, I don't see him getting over to the point that they'll get the titles because they want to heat up the Usos. That's why, that's the first step. You got to have your heels kill some baby faces that the fans actually like.
The Usos finally became on TV, and ever since they became tag team champions, if you really think about it, this is like I want to say the first time in a long time ever showing their face on SmackDown as a tag team champion and actually cutting promos.
Yeah, that promo that they did on the show last week was very effective. They have shown considerable aptitude for that part of the presentation, especially when they've been on Talking Smack. So it's good to see that reflected on the in-ring portion of the show. So hopefully that trend continues. Yeah, I think the Usos have a tremendous amount of potential.
I see that they finally got from Spike's gears now.
Yeah. Well, they're letting them talk, and they're not trying to make them be happy, and they get to be real people almost.
Right. So when we come back, it's our lightning round.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about.
We don't know what's going to happen with 205 Live, but we will talk Impact and NXT at least.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned to that. When we come back from this short break, we're going to have NXT and Impact. You're listening to Hill and Face, ScoreOnAir.com, part of the Beat On Air network. We're out.
Okay.
I'm not even going to turn off the mic on the webcam feed. Yeah. Plus, a lot of times people like to see the backstage kind of footage if they can.
Yeah. Well, doesn't matter to me.
I'm not gonna lie, you guys make me watch WWE every week because before I came here every week, I was not watching wrestling. I let all either two things would happen. I either forget that wrestling is coming on, and by the time I realize it'll be too late, or I'll record on my DVR and leave on there for weeks to come without even watching it yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that you're, motivated. I mean, we certainly appreciate you coming by and helping us out. It's always fun to have somebody who wants to talk about this stuff. And yeah, I wouldn't watch it nearly as much as I do if I weren't doing this show. I mean, I'm watching wrestling literally every day, and then being in shows too. So it's definitely.
There you go. Garza Jr. and Laredo Kid versus LAX.
That'd be good.
Because now they're going to start the tournament up. The titles. For the GFW Tag Team titles. Then we have Moose set to defend. Well, that's last week. I forgot they don't keep anything updated on their website.
Can I ask you guys a question before you guys get back on there? On my fake company, on this company,
Welcome back, everyone, to hour number 2 of Heel and Face here at Score on Air, part of the Be On Air network. My name is Aaron Hurt, alongside the Mayor of the Squared Circle, James Hand. We are thrilled that you are joining us here. Here shortly, we are going to go through all of the big events from around the rest of the world of pro wrestling this weekend. But before we get there, we want to remind everybody to call 614-641-0674 or text at that number with your comments, your questions, anything that you would like to discuss with us here about Raw, about SmackDown, about the Backlash pay-per-view this weekend, about Ring of Honor, about New Japan, about your local independent promotion. Whatever is on your mind, we would love to hear from you. You can also interact with us at Heel and Face 2016 on Facebook and on Twitter, so like those, follow those. And we have all sorts of updates about the show and what's coming up, and links to the latest news and events on our Facebook page. So we love it if you could keep up with that. That way you know what's going to be discussed on the next show. But we also would like to remind everybody that we have a contest here at Score on Air every week. We have a new prize pack. We announce the winners on Friday at 7 p.m. on the show that follows us. And I'm sure that Tyson and the rest of the Tyson's Punch-Out gang this Friday will have a whole bunch to say about that UFC 211. But we have a shirt and beer mug package here from Two Tones Brewing Company. So very nice shirt, big sturdy pint glass here for your favorite micro brew, or whatever,
or major brew.
Yes, if you're a Miller Lite guy, or if you're like myself and you like something like a Newcastle Brown Ale or something.
You know what? I'm a Sam Adams guy.
Well, Two Tones Brewing Company, I'm sure they have many varieties of delicious brews to fill up this glass, and you can wear your shirt while you enjoy it. So send your name, your phone number, your date of birth, and your email address to us here at Score on Air. You can use that number I just read, 614-641-0674, to get in touch with somebody here in the studio and get that taken care of. But enter now so you can be registered to win this t-shirt and mug, and we'll bring you that announcement on Friday at 7 p.m. And for those of you watching us on YouTube, we are on the Heel and Face YouTube page this time. We are streaming live on the TuneIn Radio app, so search Score on Air once you have that TuneIn Radio app. We have archived episodes at mixcloud.com/Score on Air. So any number of ways for you to keep up with us here at your source for pro wrestling news, analysis, and opinions. And speaking of that news, let's talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan War of the Worlds from this past Friday night.
Awesome show.
Hammerstein Ballroom. Yes, very, very good show. We'll go through the results, and then we can talk about some highlights. Dalton Castle defeated Silas Young, Bobby Fish, and Kushida. Hangman Page defeated Frankie Kazarian. In a non-title match, the IWGP Tag Team Champions War Machine defeated Evelyn Sonata and Jonathan Gresham and Chris Sabin. Will Ospreay defeated Jay White in what was match of the night for me. Outstanding match from those two guys. Followed up by the ROH six-man champions Bully Ray and the Briscoes defeating Chaos representatives Hiroki Goto, Rocky Romero, and Beretta. Marty Scurll defeated Matt Sydal to retain the TV title. Matt Sydal is finished with Ring of Honor and will be exclusive to Impact from here on out. The Young Bucks retained the ROH Tag Team titles by defeating Tetsuya Naito and Bushi. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Adam Cole, and then Christopher Daniels beat Cody and Jay Lethal in a triple threat match main event to retain the ROH title. Very interesting finish there. Christopher Daniels pinned Cody, who had Jay Lethal in a figure four leg lock, and he won with the best moonsault ever. But what do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the new member of Bullet Club?
I think we just need to get straight to
so
dessert. Skip the rest of dinner. Let's get to dessert.
So after Adam Cole lost to Tanahashi, there was a vignette featuring one Kenny Omega, who got an amazing reaction just for being on a video screen. But he basically excommunicated one Adam Cole from the Bullet Club and announced that the new member is none other than the villain Marty Scurll, complete with a very stylish Bullet Club umbrella, I must say.
Then not to mention, Cole got his departing gift, super kick.
He got super kicked out of the ring. And he will, he is a part of the TV tapings that took place. I don't want to spoil all of it, but I will tell you that Marty Scurll is no longer the TV champion, as Kushida took that belt off of him. So I cannot wait to see that. But there is a new champion in Ring of Honor as Kushida, the man who will make you rock, if you believe the title of his theme song. The Time Splitter has defeated the villain and newest Bullet Club member, Marty Scurll, to capture that TV title. But we were talking about Adam Cole. But just before we move on, the six-man tag team titles match was amazing. Bully Ray and the Briscoes are great. Will Ospreay and Jay White is a match you need to go out of your way to see. The tag team titles match, as we said, with the Young Bucks and Los Ingobernables was very, very good. And the main event was very, very good too. So I'd say this was, easily, an 8 out of 10 on this show. I definitely enjoyed it.
Then to add to it, you can now go to Hot Top and get Cody Rhodes' shirt.
Yes, there's lots of Bullet Club affiliate regalia at Hot Topic now.
Which is weird.
It is weird, but I mean, if kids are still buying clothes there, then at least they have better options.
I can't say nothing. I bought a couple of my WWE shirts from there. When they do buy two, get one free, I'm going to jump on it.
But as we were talking about Adam Cole, speculating on whether or not we'll see him at NXT TakeOver, we're definitely going to see him on June the 10th in Elizabeth, Pennsylvania for the International Wrestling Cartel Super Indie Tournament, the 16th edition of this tournament, which will also include Colt Cabana, Jay White, Joey Janela, DJ Z, Jonathan Gresham, and Chris LaRusso. So quite an array of talent in that tournament. And we'll see if that precludes, that's one of the only indie bookings I know about for Adam Cole. But we'll see if, he, despite that, turns up in Chicago for NXT, or we wait a few more months to see that happen. But
wait until SummerSlam-ish?
Maybe. But we want to run through some results from a couple of more shows that took place over the weekend. First was Shine 42, women's action. They announced that they're going to hold a 2-day tournament with 16 women to crown the first Shine Nova champion. And coincidentally enough, it's going to be held on the same 2 days that WWE will tape their tournament, July 13th and 14th. But the results of that card were Dementia DeRose defeating Asia Pereira, Maria defeated Dynamite Didi, Kiera Hogan defeated Priscilla Kelly, ACR defeated Lindsay Snow, Errol Monroe defeated Aria Blake, Ivelisse and Mercedes Martinez defeated Gabby Castrovinci and Santana Garrett to retain the tag, or to capture the tag championships. Allison Kay defeated Chelsea Green. You would know those ladies as Sienna and Laurel Van Ness if you watch Impact. Renee Michelle defeated Candy Cartwright. Errol Monroe, Priscilla Kelly, and Renee Michelle defeated Aria Blake, Candy Cartwright, and Kiera Hogan. And then the main event, Lou Fisto defended the Shine Championship against Leva Bates. And then over in the UK was Progress 48 with a lot of names that are going to be a part of this WWE UK show. But the card from top to bottom, Morgan Webster defeated James Drake to earn a spot in the upcoming Super Strong Style 16 tournament. Progress Women's Action, Jenny defeated Martina. Then Chuck Mambo and Pastor William Ever defeated the London Riots. Trent Seven defeated Travis Banks. Nathan Cruz defeated Rockstar Spud to earn a spot in the Super Strong Style 16 tournament. Matt Riddle defeated Tyler Bate via DQ to retain the Progress Atlas Championship. And then, sounds like quite a main event, Pete Dunne defeated Mark Andrews and Mark Haskins in a triple threat match to retain the Progress Championship. And while he was cutting a promo after the match, he got attacked by some new talents for Progress. Guys who are known elsewhere in the UK, but Chris Brooks and Kid Lycos of Fight Club Pro and Southside Wrestling made their presence known, so I guess they are going to be new to the scene in Progress. But Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, obviously take over this weekend. Mark Haskins, Trent Seven, Travis Banks, those guys part of this WWE UK show. But James, we have to be running out of time on this segment.
Yes, we are,
okay,
actually.
So let's wrap it up with that. When we come back, we have an exclusive interview with NWA Midwest champion Brandon Xavier and the lady we heard from on Friday, new women's champion in NWA Midwest, Jocelyn. But we got both of them together. This is a very candid, very interesting interview. We're going to bring it to you right after this break, so stick around for more. For your source, pro wrestling news, analysis, and opinions, Heel and Face, ScoreOnAir.com, part of the Be On Air network.
We're out. Yeah, I was blown away when I saw the whole Adam Cole thing.
That was a damn good show, though, man. I mean, it peaked with Osprey and Jay White.
Tonight,
The I know you haven't smoked just because I've listened to this 5 times.
Jocelyn Navarro.
YouTube.
Then you can go to Instagram and follow me at Joss_E_Navarro. And then go to Twitter and follow me as well because I tweet. Because I hate people on all 3 social medias.
And all you pervs better keep your nasty, disrespectful, basement living comments to yourself.
Well, I doubt that wrestling fans are capable of such things, but nonetheless, we have ran out of time here, but thank you very much to my guests, the 2 newest champions in NWA Midwest, Jocelyn, the new women's champion, and Brandon Xavier, the new Midwest champion. So thank you once again for joining me. Well, that was my interview with Brandon Xavier and Jocelyn Navarro.
The ultimate power couple at NWA Midwest.
Indeed, and you know, I'm sure that they feel that they, you know, will have a long reign, but there's going to be people lined up to you know, make sure that that doesn't happen. And we're going to find out as quickly as June the 4th. So the next time we have NWA Midwest,
Which will be our first Sunday show.
A Sunday show, not a Saturday. But I want to thank them for that interview, and I think Jocelyn might have the most often plugged social media on these airwaves.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, as we've heard many, many times. So hopefully that you know, all of you out there have caught up with her on social media. But what are we going to talk about when we come back, James?
When we come back, we're going to do some podcast talk in this day in history, kind of just get people ready for what has already came out and what's going to come out this week.
All right, I can't wait to hear about that
and find out possibly what ring commentator was on drugs during his stint.
That's a Mean Gene-esque hotline tease right there. Call 1-900-909-99.
Call
to find out all the details.
Call 614-641-0674. If you have listened to this podcast and you can tell me who I'm talking about, I'll enter your name in the contest right now for this awesome T-shirt and this beer stein.
Absolutely. So
I guess that's a beer stein, isn't it? A pint glass?
Yeah, it's a mug. It's a very sturdy glass mug.
So on that note, when we get back, we will talk podcasting this day in history. You're listening to Heel and Face, ScoreOnAir.com, part of the Be On Air network.
Broadcasting from the Score On Air studios at the Ohio Media.
That's funny. I mean, seriously, that's exactly the way Mean Gene would do it. You know, which superstar from another organization recently failed the drug test?
Right.
You will.
I channeled my inner Mean Gene for that. I did.
You'll never believe the name that we uncovered. Find out all the details on the WCW hotline, $1.69 a minute, 1-900-909-9900.
Yeah, I wonder how much money WCW made off that hotline.
Mean Gene he got a cut. I mean, that's why he shielded so much.
We cover all Ohio sports.
Just go to Score On Air.
No, I wonder if anybody would text or call in and answer.
Score On Air. You'll be part of the action in no time.
The answer is all of them.
The commentators, so. Like today was the first time in a while I've actually listened to the Taz show.
Yeah.
I stopped before he got into his Raw preview, but they were doing the three match super card, the off the hooks, drop kicks.
Yeah.
The best drop kickers. And one guy called in and said AJ Styles and Brian Pillman. Like, all right, I can see that. Someone called in and said Shawn Michaels and Morton.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say Rocket Rolls versus the Rockers. Yes, the battle of the double drop kick.
Then someone called in and did the tag team, the Young Bucks versus the Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling is looking for interns. Have you heard of Ric Flair? Well, this is the company that brought you Ric Flair before he went to the WWE, and we're looking for interns.
Like somebody said, the Big Show, because he did one drop kick in WCW.
He could do it. I mean, for a while, yeah, he could do drop kicks. Half the time you do them off the rope, but
yeah, the missile drop kick. Well, that's so he could get a bounce, probably.
But I've seen him do them.
Like even Taz said, he's like, I can tell you how to do a drop kick.
Yeah.
He's like, I can show you how to do one. Like not show you, but tell you the workings of it. He's like, but I can't do a drop kick.
Well, it would look really weird to see Taz do a drop kick.
Right?
The On Air Network, bringing you the best color radio has to offer.
Are you someone who has always dreamed of a career in sports media?
If you're watching on YouTube, you get a behind-the-scenes look of what we do during break. We're actually just kind of, I guess you'd say, shooting the crap around.
That are actually in the industry. The Ohio Media School will get you where you need to be for a successful career.
Like we always do.
The show doesn't stop just because the commercials are on.
Right?
614-655-5250 or go to
Not usually.
ohiomedia.com. Stop dreaming about a career in sports and make it a reality at the Ohio Media School.
New generation of sports talk radio. Here's your
I was just making sure it was
Sports
playing.
Center update.
I'm Aaron, and here's your Score Center update. The Cleveland Cavaliers
Got about a
finished their second
minute.
sweep in postseason play against the Toronto Raptors on Sunday. LeBron James
Or whenever
scored
this
35
commercial's
points,
over in the
and
next
the
one, because then they got another show
Cavs
playing.
their 11th straight postseason win, dating back to the 2016 NBA Finals. Cleveland will meet
I gotta do that. Remind me on Friday to do that. I gotta pull all of our shows
In Sunday's game,
for our anniversary show.
right.
He wants me to pull like 8 of the best segments.
Injured Corey Kluber. And Clevenger's 5 2/3 innings of work.
That will be for him to upload to play, like to put on the Be On Air Network. Then I'm gonna do a YouTube one too, and pull some of our in studio where we had Payne here, Pruitt here, Philly and Marino.
Yeah, awesome.
Sports Time Ohio has your television coverage. The 143rd Kentucky Derby will run on Saturday night, and 92 favorite Always Dreaming won it with a nearly flawless performance.
They're coming to the line, and the dream comes true. Always Dreaming has won the Kentucky Derby. And it was Logan and Lee second, followed by Battle of Midway and Classic Empire. The final time was
I don't know how that girl is fat.
3.59 seconds.
Like,
Always Dreaming
she
now
ate
has a chance to
8
win the
pieces
Triple
of
Crown,
pizza
with his
in
next
30
race
minutes,
being Princess
Jocelyn.
Stakes, run at Pimlico
That's crazy.
Racecourse
How
in
does she
Baltimore
not
May
gain
20th.
weight?
For all the latest news, scores,
That
and
is a
hot
good
takes, keep
question.
it right here on ScoreOnAir.com.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers 3 is gonna be released on Labor Day weekend.
Broadcasting from Ohio Media School in the greatest city in the state.
In the greatest state in the country. In the greatest country in the world. You're listening to ScoreOnAir.com. This is the Handlebar Haberdasher, Marion Fontaine, and you should be listening to the Heel and Face Show on ScoreOnAir.com.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we went to break, I did tease a little something. We did have a text message come in during break. They were wrong. So we're still waiting at 614-641-0674. If you know who we're going to talk about and you give us the right answer, we will put you in the drawing for the T-shirt and the cup. So we're going to save that for probably the last segment so we can give people some time. We don't want to give them the answer.
Yeah, we can still talk about it, but we won't reveal the answer to our little quiz. Yes, but there were some. Most of the new shows are, it's Monday, so the only one I believe that comes up on Monday is the Tony Schiavone.
Raven.
Okay,
And the Raven affect us.
but what happened when with Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson on MLW Radio talks about Fall Brawl '97. This is a show I still have a lot of strong feelings about. It was War Games, NWO versus the Horsemen.
Not even the A team of the NWO. It was basically the B team.
Yeah, and there was really only 2 Horsemen. Well, no, I take that back. That was
You had Flair,
yeah, no,
Benoit,
yeah,
Mongo,
and Hennig.
and Hennig.
It didn't really count with Hennig, but no, I still think that was just one of the worst decisions from a booking standpoint that any company has ever made in terms of killing a town, killing characters, just
And it just
killing
come
a
off.
concept and an angle. I mean,
It came off of basically Arn Anderson retiring. The
Yeah.
next week, the NWO came out and basically
yeah.
bashed Arn
It
Anderson.
killed the Horsemen. It killed the Horsemen's match, which was the War Games. It killed Winston-Salem, North Carolina, as a town. I mean,
It killed me as a fan.
Obviously, I mean, it's been 20 years. I still hate it. I still feel like somebody owes Bischoff a punch in the mouth for booking that finish.
Well, I did want to bring this up to you. You know when they were making fun of Arn Anderson?
Yeah.
You know the whole point of that segment was to have the Horsemen run
No,
out?
of course, the Horsemen were supposed to do a run-in, and Kevin Nash got that nixed, and Hulk Hogan.
No, Bischoff nixed it
Well,
because of time restraints.
Yeah, well, it was Hogan and them, and who got to say, well, yeah, the Horsemen were supposed to have this big comeback, and there was this whole thing in there, and I mean, they practically walked out of the company over that because
Yeah.
it was so, just so out of bounds. But I don't know how much of that they get into on that discussion.
Oh, they get into it pretty deep.
Well, that's maybe that's a reason for me to
No
check it out.
commentary this week.
Yeah.
But you do get a remix of Shivani's rant from last week on Meltzer.
Oh, boy.
A fan made a song out of it.
Oh, now they've got.
It's the same guy who does all of Bruce Pritchard's stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, for what that's worth.
Yeah, well, last night on Live Audio Wrestling from Fight Network in Canada, they had the Briscoes as their guests, talking about all of the stuff going on in Ring of Honor. It was a very interesting interview, so I would say go check that out, because those guys always have a whole lot to say. They have Dave Meltzer on there every week, but yeah.
As soon as you said Dave Meltzer, I wanted to say something, but I had to restrain myself.
I know. Well, it's
I almost channeled Bruce.
Yeah,
Dixon
it's like a version of Tourette syndrome.
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. But
on Raven, it was him talking more about his wrestling career for Vancouver and Portland.
Yeah, I mean that was very early in his career, but
and Piper was the booker for Portland at this point.
Yeah, this would have been the late '80s, early '90s. Yeah.
When he was called,
he was Scotty Flamingo or Scotty the Body.
Scotty the Body, but then they had him pick his nose so they could call him Snotty Scotty.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, he was Scotty Flamingo after that in WCW for a while before I don't even remember what they called him in WWF.
Who, Raven?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Johnny Polo.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, we forgot that for a second. But it was a good listen. You hear a lot more stories about on the road, which everybody likes Raven. He tells, like when I first heard the first episode, I was like, no wrestling talk, really? I want to hear some wrestling talk coming from Raven himself. Just because he has a different perception of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that, he's as aware of, how people's comments are taken out of context or misrepresented, and then circulated worldwide through social media, so maybe he's worried about that. I mean, Raven has never been shy about his opinions, but maybe he just doesn't want to give those people, fodder for discussion.
So you have anything on who's on Jericho this week or Austin?
I have not been able to find out what the what's scheduled for the next episodes.
I know tomorrow's Lance Storm killing the town.
Yes,
which is always fun to listen to.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure they will.
I want to see how they're going to verbally assault Disco some more.
Well, leave it to Cyrus. If anybody could do it with style and
class.
Yes.
Well, because he is an international businessman.
Oh, of course he is. Well, no, I mean, people don't know that about Don Callis. Like, he has, he's talked about it on that show, but yeah, he has a master's in, international business.
I think he was teaching a class for a little bit.
Yeah, he taught at, big university in Vancouver. I don't know if it was University of Manitoba. I don't know what the name of the school was. But yeah, I know that he was not sitting around watching old tapes of himself on the internet, after ECW, that he was out there, making money. And
yeah, because he was with WWE for a little bit.
That was in the late 90s.
Then he did a little stint in Impact.
Well, he was in ECW for about 2 years. And then, yes, he was with TNA for a little bit. And then after that, he was pretty much out of the wrestling business until this podcast came along, and now he's with New Japan.
Him and Kevin Kelly are great together.
Yeah. A quick note that I heard about the New Japan show that this news comes from Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer, but that the broadcast is not going to be a repurposed version of the show called World Pro Wrestling Returns, which is just the show that TV Asahi plays in Japan. And that's what we've been getting with the interviews and stuff. So now New Japan is sending the footage directly to Access for them to produce a separate broadcast here in the U.S. instead of just revoicing an existing show.
I mean, we didn't even bring up, they announced the IWGP U.S. title.
Yes, there's going to be a round-robin tournament.
Isn't that what they're doing out in Long Beach, the G1 out there?
Yes, that announcement was made as a part of the War of the Worlds pay-per-view.
Belt looks gorgeous.
Yes, there is going to be a U.S. champion crowned in a round-robin tournament. The two names that have been announced so far are Jay Lethal and Hangman Page.
Who do you put the title on?
Well, it depends on how they're going to use it. If it's a guy that's going to go to Japan and defend it, then I don't know if Jay Lethal's that guy. He could be.
Maybe Omega?
Well, he's not. Omega's got bigger fish to fry.
He's got Okada coming up
Yeah,
here
he
soon.
might be challenging Okada for the world title on that show, or Okada challenging him because they have a pay-per-view with that match scheduled before these shows.
Cody Rhodes.
There you go.
He can defend it here and over there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a likely choice. We'll see. That it seems like they can't have more than 4 guys in it if they're going to try to do a round robin, and they're still going to defend all the other belts and have G1 preview matches. I mean, these shows are going to be loaded, but
And like we said, it's going to be live.
yeah, I'm going to be broadcast live on Access. So
I'm going to have my DVR set.
yeah, I mean, we're still over a month and a half away or so from those shows, but I can't wait. The New Japan's got a lot going on. With the Dominion show, I believe that's the next show is the June 11th, Dominion in Osaka. Anyway, it's headlined by Okada and Omega. But we've got Best of the Super Juniors that starts Wednesday, man.
Right?
I mean, and the very first day will be free live on New Japan World, and they are redesigning New Japan World and the new.
As you say that, I'm actually on New Japan
Yeah, the new
World.
design will go up tomorrow, I think, from what I heard. But
Actually, it looks a little different now, the way they got the movies, the results, and the profiles on the main page
okay,
now.
so maybe they have already updated.
Well, maybe it's tomorrow in their time already. They've already done the
That's
changes
true.
here.
That's an excellent point, James. Yes, it would be tomorrow in Japan based on the time they made that announcement. But yeah, New Japan World even better, as if it could get better than live wrestling from the finest athletes anywhere in the business, all told. Ring of Honor does a lot of great stuff. WWE's got far too many talented wrestlers to know what to do with. But New Japan uses their talent the best and the most effectively.
Right, and they've got talent in the wing ready to go.
Oh, completely. And this.
What are they called? The Young Lions?
Yes. Yeah. And and we're seeing, guys like Jay White, who was a young boy and is over here on excursion with Ring of Honor, become a bona fide star as a result of that matches like he had with Will Ospreay. And so but we're going to see. I can't wait to talk about Best of the Super Juniors. I forgot about that until just now. We got to include that in Friday's show too.
I will definitely make sure that it goes in. We won't skip it. Don't worry.
Yeah, well, you better watch it if it's free on New Japan World. All of you out there, if you've not seen New Japan,
What time is it going to start?
It'll be late for us, so I don't
like 3 a.m. ish.
Probably, I think. So I don't know. I'll have to find out more details about that. I just read the
Friday, Saturday.
No, it'll be Wednesday night.
If they replay it on the website, I'll catch it.
Yeah, well, it's free. The whole day, the whole first day of the Best of Super Juniors is a free day. I might be wrong, but
it's like a drug dealer. It's a way to get you hooked on the product.
they give you a taste for free, and they make you pay for the rest when you come back. But we are going to wrap up this segment here at Heel and Face, your source for pro wrestling news, analysis, and opinions on Score on Air, part of the Be On Air network. And stick around when we wrap up the show after this break.
We're out. Okay. You got a little excitement in you when you heard about the Best of the Juniors, didn't you?
I'm fired up, brother. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, compared to when I've been on this website before, they did change it. Because this wasn't all here.
No, I know. I can tell.
Like they got an interview with Will Ospreay. He talks about the stacked 2017 lineup as he seeks to become the back-to-back Best of the Super Juniors.
Visit BeOnAir.com today to get started. That's
Yeah, they even got it here, the Bullet Club games of Italy.
My guy, I'm super excited. High school sports.
And then a Japanese guy beat him for his belt.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, man, I want to see that match. I bet it's good, but.
Like they got one here that says movie.
Yeah.
No, I keep it. Oh, it's not in English though. It links you to the Japanese Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah, I think that's what they're. See, 516.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not on the English site.
Yeah.
Right here it is though. I see it. They got it on there.
Yeah.
It's like Best of the Supers.
Yeah.
Brought to you by the OHSAA and the Ohio Media School.
I mean, I'm seriously thinking about breaking down and getting it.
Kobe Bryant or Tom Brady, often the first word
To get
comes mind
New
is
Japan.
Yeah, it's worth it, man. To just be able to watch it like WWE Network, it's freaking
Did you
great.
know that clutch athletes aren't necessarily born that way, but what separates them from the competition is that clutch players are
We're
not
coming in
afraid to
about a
fail.
minute.
That's the biggest difference. In fact,
We'll let
one of
this
the teams in the
play,
game is on the line.
then we'll play the next commercial, which is the prize spot.
Michael
Right.
Jordan commercial where he talked about not how many shots he made when the game was on the line, but how many times he missed.
Yeah, I got it.
So it's
After we get out of here, I'm
important
going home. I brought my jackets and stuff. I'm just gonna go straight to freaking Lancaster and shoot that promo. They're gonna tar and feather JT.
Otherwise, we will fail.
What?
That's what he told me.
What, for the show?
Yeah. I mean, I guess, they're shooting it tonight, and it's gonna be on the Friday show.
The school wants to make you, you.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that after looking at the times. I was like, if he needs Aaron, I guess I'm going to be rolling solo.
No, I think that, I'll,
First of all,
it-
I mean, if he needs you there, I can hold down the fort Friday.
oh, I know, and I can call in on
Yeah.
wherever.
That or for news, you can just, I'll go to your WordPress, kick me the link again, and I'll do it off that. I'm pretty sure Logan will be here.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I mean, I as of right now, I'd say that I will be here, but if not, I will let you know. I think that's why he wants me to come down tonight, so I can just shoot it, and we don't have to do it while we're there. Because he knows that he'd have to pay me if I come to that thing on Friday, because it's
And what's better to him than free labor?
right. So he's not gonna pay me for driving down to the school.
And weekly prize giveaway. ScoreOnAir.com. The Score.
Welcome back, everybody. We did get a guess on my question, and they were wrong again, so I guess I'm going to say the answer.
Yeah, go for it.
Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, he talked about he got some new meds from his
He said basically he was on speed.
well, that he got some Concerta or whatever. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, well, I guess that's something to keep in mind when you watch that particular show. But I wouldn't say that it's better than perhaps a downer for that kind of show. The show
That's
itself is
true.
probably a downer.
Can you
I'm
imagine?
sure a lot of those guys felt like that. They wanted to stick something in their arm after watching.
Can
a few
you
of those.
imagine if you had a ring commentator on downers for one of
Well, Heenan was drunk as it is, so that's bad enough. I mean, Heenan's got a coffee mug full of vodka.
That's true, kind of like the judge on Cheech and Chong. That's true.
Hey, go back to the first Hog Wild, Road Wild, the show, the show right after Hogan turned heel.
Yes.
God, Heenan.
Wasn't that the one where Rodman and him tag teamed against Karl Malone and DDP?
That was a couple of years later. This was when he wrestled the Giant for the belt. But I was gonna say that Heenan was slurring his words in the second match of the show. Like that.
And for those that listen to Schiavone and them, they've done it different. Now they do a year and they give you all the pay-per-views, and it's basically
And you just pick one.
yeah, they're not doing it
Yeah.
like they just did 97.
Yeah.
Next week will be 98.
Yeah. But we talked about in our last segment. We talked about what we knew about the goings on in the world of podcasting.
Talked a little bit more about New Japan.
Indeed, we did.
And those that are watching on YouTube, you guys got a nice conversation during the break about me and Aaron talking about New Japan.
Yeah, so another incentive for you to check things out on YouTube, because just because the commercials are on doesn't mean the show stops here in the studio. But we talked about all kinds of stuff in the show. We had an interview with Jocelyn and Brandon Xavier, which was very, very interesting.
They always give you crap, don't they?
They like to give people a hard time. I mean, I can give as good as I get, but I try to maintain a sense of professionalism and just show them that it doesn't get to me. Because quite frankly, I could care less what they have to say. I mean, that's that's not going to cause.
And that's a real shoot.
I'm not going to lose any sleep at night over that. I've got my job and they've got theirs, and we'll both do them to the best of our ability, hopefully. But
we got Monday Night Raw coming up tonight from the Prudential Center in New Jersey.
Oh yes, we talked about how there are a lot of things up in the air with Raw. especially as it relates to the main event scene with the news of this injury to Braun Strowman and the expectation that he will miss up to 6 months with elbow surgery. Shattered elbow. Should be shattered, like the Rolling Stones.
Right. So, all right, this is what I want to bring up now that I got a shot. Everybody was talking about Seth Rollins being dangerous.
Yeah.
No one's calling out Roman for this.
Well,
Not yet, at least.
Well, we don't know how he hurt himself. Maybe he did it lifting weights. Maybe it's just something that's wear and tear, for months. It's just been a nagging thing. And
or it could be the altercation from last Monday.
Yeah, or it could be he just ran into too many things.
That's true. He did rip an ambulance door off.
Yeah, mechanically assisted, of course, but, it still couldn't have been fun. We have no idea what's going to happen, but we're going to have to figure out who's coming after.
I was okay calling Roman a non-safe worker.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too. I have no reason to. But the thing about Roman is one thing I try to avoid is piling on unnecessarily. I have my opinion on the guy, but some people are just determined, they want to blame him for bad traffic outside the arena.
I don't go that far with it. I might blame him for a lot of things, but
but there are some people that are quite frustrated with Roman Reigns. I think the real issue,
or like vigilantes against Roman Reigns.
Well, the thing is, the fans want to be right. The fans want to feel like they were correct in who they chose, and that's the thing with Roman Reigns is the fans are being told, no, you're wrong, I'm right by Vince, because
not the first time.
Yes. And that's really what it comes down to. And the fans are resentful of the fact that Vince isn't agreeing with them. And, and Roman's caught in the middle. It could be any other guy. But I really think that there's nothing wrong with putting Roman Reigns in the mid-card and trying to build him again. Keep him on the shows. Nobody says fire him. Nobody says he's, he's certainly got a place on the card. It's just not in the main event.
Not right now.
Not right now. Yeah.
I'm not saying you have him go out there and job out to...
Really, right. But what's wrong with Roman Reigns and The Miz being a mid-card feud?
Hey, I'm okay with it because I've said here on the show numerous times, I love what The Miz is doing heel-wise right now.
Yeah, the world will not end. Roman Reigns will still sell plenty of T-shirts. If you put his name on the program, fans will buy tickets to see him if they want to see him.
He is what John Cena used to be, which is still is. If you put John Cena's name on any card, people are going to show up.
But do you remember how great SmackDown was when you had John Cena with the U.S. Open Challenge in the first hour of the show and somebody else got to be in the main event? You still got your Cena, you got good matches from him, and you got something else. So, I see they have no problem suddenly making guys like AJ Styles, be mid-carders for when they need them to.
Or a Nakamura or something.
Why is Roman any different? Like I said, what it comes down to is the fans don't like being told that they're wrong. And that's the whole point of Roman Reigns right now is, it's a war of attrition. Who's gonna give up first? And Vince will never give up.
That's true. Till the point where eventually we've discussed it, Roman goes heel.
But what happens when fans give up? They stop buying tickets and they stop watching the show
and they stop buying merchandise.
Yeah, and they stop spending money. And so
we've kind of seen it on SmackDown with the tag team division with American Alpha.
Something is going to give sooner or later. Fans are just they're not watching Raw and SmackDown on TV anymore. Not even like they were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, let alone 5, 10, 15 years
They're waiting until the next day to see the clips, or they're going to Amazon or the Fire Sticks and all these things and just watching the edited version of it.
Yep, because there's no point in sitting through 3 hours of it live when you know what you're going to see.
You're going to see the same thing you've seen for a month now.
Yeah. You're going to see a 20-minute talking segment to start the show. You're going to see 2 cruiserweight matches. You're going to see
Enzo and Cass come out and Enzo cut a promo.
Yeah,
he's going to get destroyed in the ring, and
no, you can book SmackDown and Raw off the top of your head from most weeks,
and it would probably be a better show than what they've got.
Yeah, and that's what's crazy is to think that Vince McMahon is rewriting Raw right now. Right now, he's tweaking it, and
up until the minute
trying to make something better or whatever. So Like,
I mean, right now, I wouldn't mind seeing Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns go at it as a mid-card feud.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That those guys they can work.
I would save The Miz for Finn Balor,
They don't have
honestly.
to be featured. They don't have to eat up the main
Which
event.
I've talked to some people about this. They say Bray Wyatt's not getting a push. As far as I'm concerned, if you're on TV every week,
You're getting a push.
you're getting a push.
Yeah, you're in WWE. Yeah.
It's not like you're sitting in the locker room hoping that someone gets hurt or gets sick so you get an opportunity to go on TV.
Excellent point. We wrapped up this show strong. We went, we just kind of went into business on this whole tangent here, but I hope they enjoyed it.
If you see anything a different way than what we just said during this show, hit us up on Facebook, Hill and Face 2016. Send me your gripes and complaints.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it's all about, is the dialogue.
That's what this show was created for, was to give an outlet for wrestling fans to come in and say what they want to say. Everything that's bothering them.
Yeah, and, I think that with Raw tonight, we're going to find out if they're really ready to step up and do something different, or if they're just going to play the same pat hand.
Probably play the same hand like they always do. I mean, come on, give us, what's his name? The dude that's Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Give us him and let him be a member of this Triple H faction.
Right, what if he came out and, kicked Samoa Joe in the jaw and left him laying?
What happens if he came out and kicked Seth Rollins? Instant heel.
Yeah, instant star. Put a guy over. Yeah, do something.
I mean, he can come in and say, you know what, Owens is over on SmackDown. I replace Owens as the guy.
Yeah.
They can build him as the next Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and and like you said, James,
the Architect 2.0.
Yeah, all WWE can do is put you on TV, and then it's up to you to be good or not.
I mean, the perfect example was Santino Marella.
Yeah.
They put him on TV. He went to as far as calling his finishing move, the Cobra, and all he did was just hit you in the top of the head. And it was over.
Yeah, I mean, that's a story for
Eugene.
Yeah. But with that, we have to wrap up this discussion. And good, bad, or indifferent, we're going to come back on Friday to tell you what we thought about Raw and SmackDown, what we think about Backlash this weekend,
Takeover,
NXT Takeover, and all the other stuff that I'm sure will be on our minds at the time. So, James, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I almost went on another tangent, but I'm going to stop and leave it for Friday. So, like we said, go out and watch Raw and SmackDown if you choose. If not, you can always tune in to us, and we'll give you the rundown of it. You have NXT, the go-home show for TakeOver. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do just between now and Friday.
Best of the Super Juniors, free New Japan World.
Yeah, I've already looked it up. I'm ready to sign up for it right now for the 16th.
There you go.
So, we will be back on Friday. Thank you for tuning in. Like we say, watch wrestling, support the indies. I don't care what Randy Orton says.
Yeah, dive.
So we're out. We're going to go take us a dive.
Yeah.
So we're out of here. Have a great night. Be safe. Tune in on Friday because we have Ed Gonzalez, Marty Jannetty's opponent for Battle on the Border 3.
Oh, crazy. Going to be a great interview.
So we're out, like I said just 2 seconds ago. Thank you for listening to Heel and Face, ScoreOnAir.com, part of the Be On Air Network.
Broadcasting from the Sphere on
And that right there is how you end the show. That was, I think, kind of the first time where we basically freestyled the whole last segment. I think this is the first commercial I've heard for the Be On Air Network.
Well, you know what? When these guys were standing out there, with a better station to us, but I don't want to make them listen.
Right?
You know?
I saw like Elvis standing there. And,
Yeah.
like,